Anubis, the god of death in ancient Egyptian culture, holds a significant place in the pantheon. His many roles include mummification, embalming, cemeteries, tombs, the afterlife, and the underworld. In today's pop culture, Anubis is famous for being depicted as a canine or a man with a wolf's head. In Egyptian mythology, Anubis plays a crucial role in the afterlife. But what exactly did he do? That's what we're here to find out. And for more interesting takes on these mythological figures, make sure to hit the like and subscribe button for more videos like this. For now, let's just have a glance at this powerful deity, Anubis. Despite appearing in only a few myths, his epitaphs provide a better insight into his purpose. But let's start by examining his name. Anubis is the Greek version of the original Egyptian name, Anpu or Inpu. This translates to decay, indicating his association with death. However, this connection with decay is not as grim as it may seem. A decaying body that was undisturbed by scavengers meant a successful burial, leading to the cycle of regeneration. It's also why Anubis is depicted as black, representing the fertile soil of the Nile River. Therefore, decay was not just about death, but also about the continuation of life. It's intriguing, isn't it? It seems that Anubis was more than just a god of death. But what other roles did he play in Egyptian mythology? Let's take a further look. The protector of death. When we think of this character, we usually associate him with mummification and the afterlife. However, one of his primary roles was that of a protector of graves and cemeteries. But what exactly did this role entail, and how did Anubis fulfill it? According to the Gimelak Papyrus, Anubis protected the body of Osiris from Set, the evil god who sought to attack the dead body. Set transformed himself into a leopard, but Anubis intervened, stopping and calming him before branding his skin with a hot iron rod. This story highlights the importance of Anubis as the guardian of the dead, preventing any harm from coming to them even after their physical deaths. But that's not all. Anubis went even further in his protection of the dead. He flayed the skin of Set and wore it as a coat, serving as a warning to any evildoers who dared to disturb the tombs of the deceased. This action by Anubis shows his fierce dedication to safeguarding the final resting place of the dead. In fact, the legend of Anubis branding Set was so powerful that even the priests who attended the dead would wear leopard skins to celebrate Anubis's victory over Set. This tradition speaks to the influence that Anubis held in ancient Egyptian society, where the dead were deeply revered and protected. As we go deeper into the story of this god of death, we can't help but wonder, how did he come to be seen as such a powerful force in Egyptian mythology? These questions only add to the mystery surrounding Anubis and the complex beliefs and traditions of ancient Egypt. The god of embalming. For instance, Anubis's role in mummification was so significant that he was often referred to as the Lord of Mummies. But why was he linked with the process of embalming? What made him so important in the ritual of preserving the dead? Well, according to the Osiris myth, Anubis was responsible for embalming the body of Osiris, the god of the afterlife. In some versions of the story, Set murdered Osiris and scattered his body parts across Egypt. It was Anubis who helped his wife Isis, the wife of Osiris, gather his body parts and embalm them. Anubis's association with the embalming process is said to have begun from this point on. Anubis was believed to have watched over the embalmers and the mummification process to ensure that it was carried out correctly. His presence was thought to offer protection to the dead, ensuring that their bodies were preserved for eternity. The importance of Anubis's role in the embalming process was reflected in the rituals that were performed during mummification. In spite of his close association with death, Anubis was not merely a god of death. He was also associated with the protection of the dead and their journey into the afterlife. Guide of souls. The late pharaonic era saw Anubis take on the role of an afterlife guide, a function that continued into the Roman period of Egyptian history. But what did this role of Anubis actually mean? According to ancient Egyptian art, he would guide the souls of the deceased from the world of the living into the afterlife. It was a crucial task that required a god with immense power and authority, and Anubis fit the bill perfectly. Interestingly, he was not alone in this task. The cow-headed Hathor also played a similar role in guiding souls in the afterlife, but it was Anubis who held the prime position in this function. He was the one who would greet the souls of the deceased and ensure that they made a safe passage into the afterlife. What did this journey into the afterlife look like? Ancient art depicts Anubis teaching people dressed in Greek clothes the way into the afterlife. This portrayal raises the question of the influence of Greek culture on ancient Egyptian beliefs about the afterlife. How did these two cultures intersect and influence each other? It's a fascinating question to ponder. The Guardian of Scales. Now, his portrayal in the Book of the Dead reflects his importance as a divine being who decided the fate of souls. But have you ever wondered how Anubis weighed the hearts of the dead? The scene in which he weighs the heart of the deceased with the feather of Ma'at is considered to be one of the most iconic scenes in Egyptian mythology. But why did the ancient Egyptians believe in this process? According to Egyptian beliefs, the heart contained the essence of a person's character and deeds. The heart was believed to be weighed against the feather of Ma'at, which symbolized truth, justice, and balance. The question that arises here is, how could one achieve a light heart? Was there any way someone could get rid of negative deeds and thoughts before passing away into the afterlife? Moreover, what was the significance of Anubis being the guardian of scales? What did the ancient Egyptians believe would happen to those who were deemed unworthy of entering the realm of death? Were they doomed to wander in eternal darkness, or was there some other fate awaiting them? It's fascinating how ancient civilizations had such a unique perception of death and the afterlife. Even though their beliefs and rituals may seem strange to us today, they offer a glimpse into the minds of our ancestors and their struggles to understand the mysteries of life and death. The worship of Anubis. Anubis may not have been the main star of ancient Egyptian mythology, but he surely had a cult following that would make any celebrity envious. People prayed to him, adorned him with offerings, and carved his statues. It was as if Anubis was the ultimate insurance policy that one could have against death. The cult center at Sinopolis, located in Upper Egypt, was like the Mecca of Anubis worshippers. It was here that people would flock to make offerings to the God of Embalming and afterlife guidance. It's almost as if they were saying, "Hey, Anubis, I know I've been a lousy person, but please take care of my body when I'm dead." And if you think the cult of Anubis was limited to Upper Egypt, then think again. This god had memorials all over the land. It was as if he had franchise outlets where people could pay homage to him. I mean, what could be better than having a god who looks after your dead body and is accessible in every part of the country? It's funny how people are ready to believe in the most outlandish things when it comes to death. And the cult of Anubis is a perfect example of that. It's almost as if people are saying, I don't know what happens after death, but at least I have Anubis on my side. Now, he was not the most prominent figure, but he definitely made a big impact on the religious beliefs of these ancient Egyptians. And who knows, maybe he's still looking after the dead bodies of his devotees. What would you do if you had a god who could look after your dead body? Would you make offerings to him, her, it? Or would you simply rely on science to preserve your mortal remains? Let us know in the comments below. And as always, make sure to hit the subscribe button for more thought-provoking content in the future.